Hey everyone, this is Silent Archives, or more formally known as Jay. As the title suggests, this is going to be a very serious video that I've been meaning to make for quite a while now. I've mostly held off on it as I've been trying to garner this, motivation, but also I think just reassurance and comfortability to discuss what I want to talk about today, which is nothing I would say too controversial in nature. This is just more so me wanting to be very open and honest about how I've been doing when it comes to me personally. And this is anywhere from not just the YouTube channel, but also mostly, and to be more specific, my health, as that's been pretty much a point of contention for, I guess, the past couple of months, ever since the beginning of the year, really. And I want to just kind of go through my whole history of my health, as I've noticed that over the years I've slowly started to become much more susceptible to my symptoms, and by proxy this has caused me to have a lot of flare-ups over the years, and this has caused me a lot of great, immense, and excruciating chronic pain due to my chronic illnesses that I've been diagnosed with previously over the subsequent years of just dealing with all of this. And I think the people who know about just my history of this deserve to know everything and anything, and likewise people who do find out about the channel are able to also acknowledge just, I guess, me personally when it comes to my health and what I've been going through. And yeah, I'm hoping to just be transparent about it, so if I'm just kind of everywhere when it comes to just me, I guess, trying to be transparent when it comes to, I guess, this video, then I apologize in advance. Usually I'm reading off a script, but I wanted to be very genuine and authentic when it came to this, as I just want to be myself and express that notion to you, the viewer. And yeah, I will be making sure to leave chapters in the description below if there's a particular subject of interest that you may be, I guess, wanting to indulge in, that you know you want to listen to first, or maybe just want to listen to specifically. So if that helps just to get through the video, then I'll make sure to do so. But I'm hoping to just kind of go through each specific point when it comes to what I want to talk about today. So this may be a little bit lengthy of a video, and I apologize in advance if it may be a little bit too prolonged, more than it needs to be, but I just, again, want to address anything and everything. So yeah, I guess we should kind of get into it. So let's start off with, I guess, the elephant in the room, and that's my health. My health is a point of contention that I think I've talked about a multitude of times, mostly on live streams. I've been pretty open and vocal about my health on live streams, and I've at the time was very hesitant because I didn't really know how people would perceive that, as again, it's the internet, and you know, everyone has their own entitled opinion. I can't take that away from you. That's for you to be reserved to, and you always will be. But I guess as someone that does YouTube full time and has always been behind the camera, and I guess kind of created this whole I guess perception of myself, or persona of being the Silent Hill guy, I think people just kind of see me as that and know me as that, and then and that's okay. I don't mind that at all whatsoever, but I also understand that I'm human, and you know, in order to make the content that I do, I need to go about, you know, physically and mentally just kind of going through the motions of doing the research, gathering the, you know, the information I need and references to produce the scripts, which can take so much time and effort, and it could take weeks, sometimes even months. And you know, not only that, but also the graphic design work, which you may see from the thumbnails. All the graphic design is done by me, and likewise gathering the footage from each respective game. I usually try to go about gathering the footage myself, but if I do generally need something that I can't grasp or I don't have the accessibility to, then I'll make sure to source the reference and gather everything I need, essentially. And hopefully I'm able to, do that when, necessary. Only exception is just the artwork. That's not done by me. That's done by our amazing friend of the channel, Tobias. They do a lot of the amazing just artwork, and I'm just so happy I can work with them and be able to just not only work but also be friends and just have all the amazing just art that's been commissioned, and I'm able to have that on the channel. It gives it a lot of creativity in life and passion. And likewise to my partner who made the channel avatar, how you would see me on YouTube or the Discord server. I very much love them, and appreciate them for just going out of their way to even produce that for me, and make that again, gives the channel identity. But the whole point I'm trying to express here is to kind of just like, I guess, go back to my previous point, is a lot of time goes into this channel, and because of that it takes a lot of effort and work and just strength out of me to pretty much accommodate and just manage my symptoms, because unfortunately I suffer from a multitude of chronic health issues, and I feel like it's gone to a point where I'm not only trying to manage, I had to recently come to terms that I'm really sacrificing much of my health in order to go about to make content and make ends meet. Whether it's a deadline, usually I try to have 2 videos out once per month, and lately it's been once per month when it comes to videos. And now it feels like it's sort of declining and getting back to where it's just no videos monthly, and I know it's because I have not been feeling okay with my health. I've been feeling a lot of chronic pain. I've been feeling pain in my abdomen and my, whenever I eat food, in my bladder, in my pelvis, my pelvic floor really, and as of lately just like my back and also my arms and just my whole body. And there's a reason for this, and I do want to preface that I do have proof of evidence and I do have the receipts, I guess you could say, when it comes to my whole medical documents. I want to give a full disclosure that by going about this notion of providing this to you, the viewer, it's something that makes me uncomfortable, but I also acknowledge that this may arise some skepticism on your behalf when it comes to just me wanting to express my health history. And the only reason why I say this is because I know how sometimes, especially as of lately with YouTube nowadays, with YouTubers, trying to advocate for your health or advocate for something that maybe is personal to them or to you that they've been going through, you kind of have to be very, honest, and you have to be very transparent. And likewise, I don't think the expectation from the viewer is to have like full proof of evidence that you have to express, unless maybe the context is very specific given the situation. But I know for me it's my health, and obviously I don't have to give that to you guys. That's my own personal confidentiality, but I am someone that very much really appreciates and respects being able to have communication with you. And by doing that, I want to basically give my medical documents of just my whole medical history of my health issues. I do want to acknowledge that by doing this, it's pretty much, a sort of giving my privacy away. But obviously I'm going to be redacting a lot of things when it comes to these documents. I'm only going to be showing the diagnosis of my said health issues, or chronic illnesses, however you want to, I guess, phrase it, and also my legal name, just so that, the, I guess, context is there, and also that I'm being genuine and honest, and, I again, I can give that clarification when needed, I suppose. So yeah, but I also want to be able to express that by no means am I disparaging the notion that people don't believe me. I do believe that the community that we have, who are just full of like-minded and very genuine and honest and very, you know, beautiful people, that I speak of or spoke with either on streams or on you know, the Discord server. You know, you guys are very, very you know, kind and genuine and honest and very caring, very, very caring, and you know, it's really shocking and surprising to me. So I'm hoping I'm able to express that sentiment to you guys with this context when it comes to my medical health. As I'm rambling about this, I'm going to be showing this on the screen, so I guess to kind of give like a sort of like breakdown, I suffer from mostly gastrointestinal health issues, so think like IBS, which I know, wow, of course you suffer from IBS, who could have thought, but I guess, like, as joking as that can be, it has caused me a lot of great, immense pain. Lately, it's progressed to the point where I feel just a lot of abdominal pain when it comes to digesting food. Lately, I got a full, like, blood panel done, and I have a lot of allergies to food. Food that I never thought I would have had before in my life, and, you know, I do, and I had to make a lot of modifications to my diet. And it's been hard, you know. I've been feeling like a lot of indigestion, a lot of, you know, sometimes bloating, just a lot of like excruciating pain, just digesting food. Sometimes it feels like I have like a brick going through my you know, my whole like digestive tract, and it's horrible. It really, really sucks. But I also know it derives from having again, IBS, but also I'm sorry, acid reflux, or GERD. And you know, I've had this, you know, these symptoms for a long time now, and in the beginning it was okay, but I think over time it's become much more difficult to manage. And I think this year alone, it's just expressed that, you know, and it's just been much more difficult than it needs to be, and it's been hard. You know, you know, I have other health issues like gastritis and duodenitis, which is in relation to IBS. IBS to me really is just like a umbrella term for just generalizing a assortment of different, like, you know, gastrointestinal issues. But that's pretty much where much of my pain is like derived from. And unfortunately, my health has kind of progressed over the years to the point where I suffer like pelvic pain and even bladder pain now, and that's mostly due in part to having a huge, I would say, sensitivity to just like food and drinks. You know, anything that's like highly acidic or spicy, inflammatory. I suffer from that by having a lot of muscle pain. You know, and it hurts a lot of the time. And a lot of the time, I think over the years try to downplay it, not just on stream, but even like when I talk about it to, like, you know, you guys or people who I know, like my partner or my family. I really try to be prideful and be very, you know, I would say, just confident in just, you know, acknowledging these health issues, but trying to derive this like normalcy. But at the same time, I've come to terms that I'm very much tired and you know, exhausted and just stressed and very anxious. I can't just express enough how anxious I've been, like almost every single day whenever I have like a flare up, or whenever I'm, you know, just having just some form of pain that's that I'm used to, but I can't help but catastrophize with, you know, thoughts of, oh my god, I need to go to the doctor, or I need to, you know, get checked up on, and, you know, if something's wrong. And it just sucks because when you have chronic pain, these are the thoughts that derive from that. And you know, it's exhausting, it's very debilitating. And, you know, this sort of like harkens back to the beginning of me talking about my health, of how I've become just really tired and really stressed out. And I think because of my, you know, health issues, it's made me very susceptible to not just the emotions I feel, but even depression. You know, I've suffered depression for years, over a decade actually, and I think with my whole chronic health issues, it's become even worse over time. And you know, depression has opened a, you know, just suicide. and that's something I've been dealing with too for years now. I don't like to talk about it, and I don't like to, be open about it, because I know very much it could, trigger and open up a whole can of worms, metaphorically speaking, with not just me when it comes to trauma, but even like other people who are watching this video. So apologies in advance if this is like a trigger word, or this may open up some old wounds. Apologies in advance. But this is, something I've been feeling for years now, and it's gotten worse. So I've been trying to deal with this accordingly through, therapy, physical, and also psychiatric therapy. But medical system in America is absolute garbage. It's absurd that you have to pay so much just to, make a compromise for your health, and even insurance doesn't cover everything. This has gone to a point where, not just medically speaking, but financially, I've been going through a lot. I've pretty much amalgamated, I guess, a lot of debt, financial, medical, when it comes to my health. I have had to use credit cards just to pay off my debts, and just my medical expenses, and I still have to get seen and get accommodated and make sure everything's okay. And now it's gone to a point where I'm in debt, unfortunately. And YouTube, as much as I love this job, and as much as it is able to make me full-time income, albeit through not the best conventional means, as I have to constantly put out a video every single month. It's not enough, unfortunately, and saying that is heartbreaking. And so that's one of the other topics I wanted to talk about, is just the whole financial side of things, especially because I'm in debt, and being chronically ill has put me back so much when it comes to just being able to provide that cost of living for myself, and that quality life for myself, with just the cost of living, having to pay bills and expenses, subscriptions for programs that I used to make videos on, and now debt. There's a lot of variables that kind of factor into my day-to-day life, but just to assure you, when it comes to me expending money, that's very, very much to just me being able to just get through the next day, as you would. When it comes to myself, I rarely ever spend money on myself at all whatsoever. And I feel like I personally can't, because I have these self-conscious thoughts where I feel like I don't deserve it, or I don't have the I guess means of doing so, because I just can't, just due to my position. So yeah, that's something that has been kind of haunting me for not just recently, but the past couple of years now. And even having to talk about it is just devastating. But I also acknowledge that I am human, and having to work for yourself, self-employment is not going to be suffice enough to provide you those I guess accommodations, like health benefits or insurance. That's something that you have to fight for yourself and provide for yourself, and unfortunately I just can't. And so that leads to basically me needing to advocate for myself as, not just a YouTuber and, as someone who works self-employment, but just for my own life, and being able to, cover medical expenses and be able to continue doing YouTube full time, which I believe is, I guess, the next topic of interest when it comes to just support of the channel. So I do want to just, just state beforehand that watching the videos is more than enough. That's always going to be more than anything I think what anyone could really provide, really. There's no expectation on my behalf for people to pay money just to watch my content whenever it comes to videos or live streams or just anything, really. I personally believe that you should never have to pay for anything just to watch, especially if it's YouTube. But I guess, that's subjective. But for me, when it comes to like my business model and how I handle things on my channel and my content and my work, I want that to be something that people can watch for free. It's why I've always struggled with like a Patreon or having like a second source of income, because I just can't bring myself to make content that's locked behind a paywall. That's just not how I function, that's not how I work, and that's how it will be for the foreseeable future. You guys deserve to watch the content that you subscribe for, and I hope long term and many years to come I can just give you guys that content that you guys can watch at your own accord. So yeah, but just watching the content, leaving a like, sharing, just talking about it really is what helps long term. And yeah, that even means having to watch those ads. Ad revenue is what makes me my source of income. So to be able to do that means a lot to me. And I hope that's something that is easily digestible, even if it is very much annoying, unfortunately. But when it comes to, I guess, other sources of revenue or just income, I've tried even having second channels, and I just can't bring myself to do that. I can't bring myself to try to, be one of the algorithm and just supply and demand with just a bunch of regurgitated content. And when I say that, I don't mean to come off with like a negative connotation. I know a lot of people would say like AI slop or just like, content farming. But, for me, I just can't do that. That's not how I function. That's not how I work. I love the content that I do, and that's, hopefully stated and, just kind of, I guess, conveyed with each video that I make. I love Silent Hill. Silent Hill is something that I hold very dearly and I cherish, and I hope that's expressed within each subsequent video that I make for many years to come. And I just love the type of content that I do, and I just can't bring myself to make content like that where it's just constantly trying to beat the algorithm and try to stay relevant. It's just not who I am. And so with that context in mind, I also understand that my content's very niche, and Silent Hill is, subjectively speaking, to me at least, is a very niche franchise. And of course, it's not going to have the most mass appeal, even though there has been a, I guess, resurgence in the franchise, and more people discovering it and finding out about it, which is really cool. I know it's never going to be as popular as, Resident Evil or Minecraft or Fortnite, just stuff like that, really. But I will continue to work hard and, make the videos that I want, and hopefully people still have interest. And really, at the end of the day, to be able to make this channel still thrive and be alive, it's you guys, it's you watching the videos and talking about it and, sharing and liking and leaving comments. Really, without you, this wouldn't be possible whatsoever. So, with that in mind, I just hope I can keep, making these videos, making videos that I love very, very dearly, that I hold, close to me. And I hope nothing but just giving very informative, educational, and ultimately worthwhile videos to you, the viewer. That's my goal. And if I'm able to accomplish that, then I think I did a good job. At least I hope so. But yeah, but I would say like that's like the main way of just supporting the channel. But I also have created different I would say sources of, I guess, like revenue, and this is optional. By no means are you guys obligated to give me money via donations or tipping, but it's greatly appreciated, especially all things considered with my health and my current situation where I'm at right now in life. But basically, I have two means of supporting me when it comes to my content and making sure like everything is staying afloat and I'm able to live somewhat comfortably, just to survive the next day. The first one is coffee. Coffee is pretty much what I like to think is the equivalent to Patreon, but the exception is you get to do not only a one-time payment where you pledge a certain amount of I guess criteria to the specific tier you're subscribing to, but also being able to, at least on coffee, make a one-time donation. And however you want to, I guess, donate or tip, that's for you to decide. And I hope that gives a little bit much more I guess like flexibility when it comes to people who may want to support me more than watching the videos via donations or tipping. And if you do so, then thank you so much. Generally, it helps in many ways more than one. A lot of people have already donated, I guess, in the past couple of months, and you know, thankfully through the community posts and also the Discord server, it's really helped in many ways more than one. So thank you so much, sincerely. Thank you. There's no incentive. There's no like exclusive content that's gonna be locked behind a paywall for you guys to indulge in if you pledge. It's just solely there as an option at your own disposal if you choose to do so. Lastly, there is the channel membership. I wish YouTube did a better job at talking about this and being much more vocal about it, but there is channel memberships, and basically it's kind of similar to Patreon and I guess Coffee as well, but basically you pledge a specific amount a monthly fee, and for me, I like to make things affordable as possible for you guys. I know how expensive it is nowadays to just live, so that's why the only tier is $1, and that is the Silent Archivist tier. Basically, this is just a tipping jar, which is just once a month. Unfortunately, there is no option to do it as a one-time donation or one-time tipping fee. It's solely just a monthly payment, essentially. But I want to make sure that people who pledge to this tier are able to afford it. And by talking about this, I hope people who do watch this are able to, have some interest and maybe even take a look at it and, see if it's something that's worthwhile to you long term. But in doing so, not only are you tipping $1 per month, but you also get really cool emojis that were done by, again, a previously named artist that I mentioned earlier in the video, Tobias. Amazing artwork, and I can't help but just express how lovely this art is. And also the loyalty badges, which is done by my partner, who is also very much lovely, and love them very much for just putting all the time and effort into just giving, again, identity to the channel. It means a lot to me, and everyone that's just pitched in to just help give the channel life and identity and just a motion and traction. I can't help but just owe it to all of you, really. Without you, this wouldn't be possible, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Sincerely, it means a lot. So thank you for making my dreams come true. But other than that, I think that's kind of it, really, when it comes to just everything and anything when it comes to content. I suppose that's pretty much all I want to talk about, and hopefully this is the last time I can talk about something like this. I apologize for just the prolonged ramble on my behalf. I understand this is not a very scripted video, but again, I just want to simulate just me being genuine and authentic and just myself, really. And much like how when I stream, I know I tend to kind of like just ramble and go off on a tangent, but hopefully in a healthy and positive and optimistic manner whenever I nerd and geek out about Silent Hill. but I hope this gives a lot of context as to how I'm feeling. Definitely dealing with a lot right now. I'm definitely doing what I can to work on videos and simultaneously battle my depression and just what I'm going through with my health. But I will continue to just keep fighting for myself and fighting for this channel, and just keep making content that I love and enjoy. And at the end of the day, I really just want to make what I love doing, and it's this content. I have so many ideas that I hope I can just create and publish one day on YouTube, and for you guys to see. And I really want to come back to streaming. In a perfect world, I would probably do streaming full-time and just play horror games, Silent Hill preferably if possible. But if that's a possibility, then I hope I can make that happen. And likewise, I hope I'm able to come back to streaming very soon. I love our community. You guys are awesome and amazing, and nothing but just kindness and admiration, and your support means everything to me, so thank you. I hope I can continue and make really creative and unique streams. I would love to do challenge runs, 100% all the games. you know, just create really cool incentive to have you guys come back and watch the streams, really. You know, that's my plan moving forward whenever I, you know, can't work on the more long-form content and videos. So I hope I'm able to do that moving forward. Whenever I need to maybe just like calm down a little bit when it comes to my just excessive workaholism, and you know, just take a little bit of a breather and take it easy. But yeah, I guess that's kind of it, really. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched the whole way through, I hope I'm able to kind of talk about everything and anything that's needed. And yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Until then, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please have a great day, stay safe, and goodbye. Take care.